There are people living on Mars. It was obvious to them, too, that Joe Biden not only had lost his fastball, he couldn't find home plate. He wasn't even in the stadium.
Good analogy, by the way.
He wasn't even in the stadium?
Wasn't even in the stadium.
The parking attendant.
The next day, well, that night.
Yeah.
The parking attendant. That night, the media turned on him.
Yep.
Okay? Because they want the Democrats to win.
Yes.
And that would, to me, was as much proof as you needed that the media is an arm of the they turned within hours of the debate.
Yep.
Well, so I mean, this is almost, you just got to factor this in every presidential election cycle. But I remember even going back to the 90s, the surveys showed the White House press corps. They were surveyed, the White House press corps at the time during the Clinton years. They said 90% of them admitted they voted for Clinton.
Yes, vote Democrat.
So it's overwhelmingly liberal. So you have to consider that when you consider what stories they choose to promote or downplay.
Well, and as Fred has always talked about, I think
point, and then I've got a
my
point.
point or Ed's point?
To Ed's point, and then I've got a point. So what you're saying is it would have been, you would have more respect if they, even if they voted 90% one way, if they had a story that story that showed this person's position here honestly and this person's position here honestly. Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If they held to the old way of doing journalism is my opinion doesn't matter. I got to report the facts.
Okay.
And if the facts shed a negative light on the party I normally vote for, so be it. Facts are facts.
Also, I don't have a problem with somebody being a hybrid. In other words, being a news person and an editorialist. But just say you are.
Yes.
Okay. Bill O'Reilly, he was both. Sean Hannity's both. I guess Rachel Maddow is both on MSNBC. Right. But it's the people who act like they're supposed to be respected as objective, always taking the side of the Democrats on issues, and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then that becomes a problem.
One other point that I was going to make is that while we all have different layers of criticizing, at least let me speak for myself, that I think the Republicans can do certain things strategically better to win at times. I believe that. I also have to factor in, and we always, almost all of us always forget that we're constantly playing with one hand behind our back. I mean, it's completely unfair. Conservatives are playing with one hand behind their back because of the media. Because they're not questioning all the things that we know are failing in the country. I mean, they're allowing Joe Biden to say that President Trump would have a abortion ban of the country, and they're not fact checking it. They never fact check that when he's specifically
they just say it.
To say it, they said no. They said he said it, and he actually said the opposite.
Are you talking about that? The liberal media will say
Joe Biden said at the DNC that just last night or the night before, Joe Biden.
Oh, I got you. Which is a blatant lie,
CNN,
and he should be called. Biden should be called out on it
by CNN or NBC.
Even if you're pro-choice, you should call him out on just saying something like that
in the name of the facts. Just facts. They should say, well, actually, Trump said that he would not do a national abortion ban.
He said that during the convention. The Republican,
like that. Right. That's one hand behind your back.
That's a Burger King.
That's a one hand behind your back because that's
have it your way.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Whopper.
To your point, also in Biden's speech on Monday night, he repeated Charlottesville.
All over again.
Come on, man.
How
long are we gonna do that? Charlottesville. I bet he said veins popping out.
Yes, he did say that.
I didn't even see it, but I know what he says because I've heard him say it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Carrying swastikas, their veins bulging.
Their veins bulging. And then he says, and Trump said they're good Nazis.
Well, he said there's
good people on both sides. He says, and then
he said that.
And then Biden will probably say there are no good Nazis. There are no good white
that part I didn't listen long.
Well, that's just
it was sickening.
He's had that stick for.
So I got to start it here, but the point that I'm making is that you're one hand behind your back with the media.
Right.
So however I still think the Republicans and the conservatives could do better things to win.
Right.
but you're still it's still not fair.
I do think that there are a lot of alternative conservative media outlets now that used to be not available. So that is good.
That's helping.
Yes.
That is helping a lot.
Elon Musk buying Twitter.
That helped.
That helped a lot.
Yes.
You're listening to today's issues on AFR.
Yeah.
Pretty wound up over here, Fred. You want to?
Well, and just test yourself, folks, when it comes to the mainstream media. How are they going to cover this report of 818,000 fewer jobs than originally reported? Let's see how they do. Let's see how they do with the Ford announcement this morning of canceling plans to build this all-electric SUV. Let's see how they report.
By the way, let me just say this about that, about Kamala Harris's demand that by 2032, what was the percentage that
67%.
67% of all brand new cars need to be electric. Okay. This is what we were talking about earlier in the week when we were talking about on Monday about her economic plan of price controls. And we all said, listen, that top-down approach is not going to work because you are forced to ignore economic realities. Here's the economic reality, okay? Maybe people will someday all buy brand new electric vehicles. They're only going to do it when they trust it, when they trust the technology, when the infrastructure's there, where you don't have to go out of your way to find a charging station, when you can charge your vehicle